Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I have an article from Ukrainska Pravda and it's going to tell us how efficient the Ukrainians were in the past day and they will tell us how much damage they caused to the Russians who are just killing civilians. I looked over a lot of articles, scrolled down, bum 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 bum. Whenever the Russians are I don't know, launching missiles or, air attacks, they kill 2 civilians, 1 goat, 3 cows, and 5 flies. And Ukrainians are destroying ammunition depots, shoot down missiles, aircraft, fantastic. So you get like movies, not because these scripts are written by movie script writers. And I can tell you that these articles that they come in the Ukrainian press are written by Americans or by Brits, but English-speaking people. And I tell you why. Because they use terms that Ukrainians would not use. And I caught that in a few articles when they used the dozens instead of using tens. We use tens in Europe. We don't use dozens. And I'm not getting Great Britain out of Europe, but we don't use dozens. The first time when I heard dozens, so 12 or half of dozen, 6, we don't go by 6 and 12 in or 24 or so, or 36 in Europe. We go by 10, 20, 30. We go by the Roman numbers, not by I don't know whose are 12, Christian, Middle Easterns, I don't know. So anyway, many articles, and don't tell me they're written for Americans. No, they're written for the whole world, and they use in tens. Tens of kilometers, not dozens of kilometers. Tens of people, not dozens of people. Anyway, I know people say, well, this is the way you would translate. No, that's not the way you translate that. Okay, Ukrainska Pravda, that tells your culture is in between what you reported. Because if the Ukrainian said, and I'm just saying, let's say, stating in Ukrainian, tens of Russians were killed. That's how is a Ukrainian. And then the translation is in English, dozens of Russians were killed. Now, the person who used dozens instead of tens is not a Ukrainian. He's an American, most likely. So we have here that that's why I said these are script writers, because they come from that area. And they should. I mean, they're owned by them in any branch. So we have here from Ukrainska Pravda, Ukrainian armed forces performed 15 airstrikes and 250 ground strikes on Russian positions. Not civilians, nothing like that. You remember when the Russians were shelling the territory where now these guys are doing a counteroffensive, they were killing only schools and swimming pools and happy people and civilians. Now when these guys do the same thing to the Russians, just Russian positions. The rockets know how to avoid it, you know what I mean? Ukrainian forces have attacked Russian forces from the sky and the ground. The aircraft made 15 strikes on Russian positions, and rocket artillery units carried out 250 firing missions. You see, the Ukrainian aircraft has no problem flying, it seems, over there. Only the Russian aircraft has problems. How many Ukrainian aircraft were downed? 0. I mean, we heard that so-called lie of Ghost of Kiev, they tried to create all kind of things, was shot down, but how many? We don't know. Like the Russians, only 1,000 people died in Ukraine. Yeah, really, okay. So I'm quoting, this comes from Operational Command Pivden, South. During the past day, the enemy attempted to carry out 2 assaults along the following axes: Pravdinya Stepova Dolina and Arkhangelske Ivanivka. In both cases, with the forces of less than a platoon, they did not succeed despite being supported by T-72 tank and BMP-2 infantry fighting. Where's that? Fighting. So these were the, So the T-72 and BMP-2 infantry were not good. That means this thing right here should be understood like this, and I want to understand like that. That's a commercial for the weapons they got. And this, the Russians don't buy the 72 because they're bad, and the BMP-2, these are bad. Okay, this is the commercial they give us, not informational. Look, when they write certain articles, they were like, what is this? Are you a salesperson? Yes, they are. For the military industrial complex from the United States of America. Ukrainian forces have attacked Russian forces from the sky, right? Okay, so these infantry fighting vehicles and retreated, suffering losses. So the Russians were not able to do squat because the Ukrainians pushed them back. During the day, the enemy carried out 4 airstrikes on our positions and rocket attack around the city of Kryvyi Rih. Nikopol district was attacked 4 times. All right, now, Ukrainian aircraft carried out 15 strikes on Russian positions and rocket artillery units, firing out 250 missions. Ukrainian forces targeted concentrations of Russian occupying forces, that's all, near the village of Stara Zburivka. So why not in the city? Why are the Russians fighting outside the city and not in the city? Because that's the way the war is conducted. You don't go in within the cities as Ukrainians did, and then when the Russians hit them, they say, oh, they hit the civilians, not us. What were you doing in the city? Defending them, defending the city from within the cities where you have civilians not evacuated? Really? How is that called? Human shielding? But the Russians don't do that. It seems like. So I think that's fairer, I would say. You remember when they used to fight outside of cities, when they used to fight, let's say, Napoleon with the big coalition? Outside of the cities. Yeah, sometimes you have to siege a city where all the armies went inside the castle, the fortress, or whatever it was, the walls. You have to seize them. What are you going to do? But here, there's no walls anymore. So why do you stay over there? And then you cry, oh, they hit us over here in the city. Anyway, so Ukrainian forces targeted concentrations of Russian occupying forces near the villages of Stara Zburivka, a command post in the city of Kherson, an electronic warfare station in the city of Nova Kakhovka, and a pontoon crossing near the village of Sadove. All military targets. Perfect, good. Confirmed Russian losses comprised 33 soldiers, 2 tanks, a 152 mm MSTA-B howitzer, a 120 mm mobile mortar, and 9 armored vehicles. The rest of the Russian losses are being established. Now, a Russian fleet grouping of 11 ships and boats, having chosen to shelter from attacks and a storm, pressed against the southern coast of Crimea and left 3 surface carrier of 24 caliber cruise missiles and 4 landing ships on standby. I wonder why. So, what is that all about? It's about war. That's what it is. So these guys are still in the Black Sea. I don't know if they're going to do anything or not. I've been waiting for 6 months. Going to be any landing over there in Odessa? I don't think so. But they're there. I don't know, to protect their interest for other vessels that might want to intervene. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure in the Black Sea it's not only Russians and that's it. There's other countries, not Romanian and Turks and the countries that are around the Black Sea. I'm assuming American Navy warships and British and French, who knows. And that's why these guys are keeping those over there as well, not only to just land in Odessa, but to keep those guys at bay, saying, we are here, we're going to shoot at you if you come closer. I'm guessing that should be the normal behavior, but strategic plan, and more than that, obviously, to keep the Ukrainians busy in the south as well. So yeah, the Ukrainians are destroying only military targets. And remember, the news that I get from the Ukrainska Pravda, for instance, or from New Voice of Ukraine, or from Ukraine Forum, if I go down and I look at their how do you call it, articles, and I scroll down, is always, occupiers hit Kharkiv with 2 rockets, and then if you go down, you just find out they killed occupiers hit Kramatorsk, 5 wounded, including teenager. That's a title over here. Now they talk about the mass murders, the burials. And then it says here that Russian launched attack on Konstantinovka in Donetsk Oblast. 5 people injured, including 1 child. I'm just reading titles here. Whatever. It's just a collaborator. Oh, that's another thing here. It's just Russian hit Mykolaiv Oblast. A man killed. It's just when I said about 20 articles, and then not half, 1/3, 1/4 of them are just with this kind of titles. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.